Hello, I'm Rachel from RK Ribbon Designs. I'm going to show you how I make my yarn lollipops. So we're going to be working on a Valentine's-ish one. Not these colors. I don't know if you are somebody who likes traditional Valentines with the pinks and the reds, but I'm going to be making one that's with some blues, kind of more for like your conversation heart type of Valentines. So what you're going to use is, I'm using one of my Dollar Tree discs, and you get a pack of 2 for $1.25. So these are great to always have for your lollipops. I always use them. They're 75 cents each basically, so it's a great deal. So we're just going to use one. And I'm going to use chunky Chanel yarn, and it's from Be Cozy. So they have an online website. It's BECOZI, and if you use the code Rachel, which is capital all caps RACHEL, you'll save 10%, and then I get a little bit something back from it for my affiliate link. So I'm going to be using the I believe this is a bright pink and then the sky blue, but they have tons and tons of colors. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of glue in the middle of your disc here. So I'm just doing like a little circle, and I will always want to make sure you use your glue on low temp, because if you use it on high temp on your styrofoam, it's going to deform your styrofoam, so you don't want that. So I'm just going to put my first yarn down like that, and then I'm going to come around with my other yarn, kind of like a little candy cane hook around the top of it. I probably need to add just a little more glue underneath there. So it'll look like that. So you have a little hook around your middle piece there. Then what you're going to do is, I like to just zigzag my glue. That way I make sure that both pieces of the yarn get some glue on them so that they will stick to the styrofoam. And then I'm just going to start holding this middle here with my hand, and then I'm just going to start pulling with my other hand both yarns at the same time. And I'm pushing down as I'm pulling to make sure that they get that glue so they adhere to the styrofoam. And then we're just going to continue zigzagging our glue around. Okay. And now we're kind of at the edge. So I'm just going to continue with the one yarn for now. Uh-oh, this got a little bit of a knot in it. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my blue and kind of go right up under that pink there. And then I'm going to meet it back where it's loose on the styrofoam. Like that. So again, I'm just pushing down. I want to make sure that the glue gets all over. And there's that little bit of a ledge there. So I'm just going to go over it right there. Then I'm going to add that pink. And then I'll add a little bit more here, and then I'll move the blue, and then they'll kind of be back to where they were both started. All right. So now we're just going to finish off the sides. So I'm just going to put glue on the entire edge here. And then when I get to this little piece, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. And then I'm just going to use one yarn at a time for the ledge here, for the edge. So we're just going to go over, and I'm going to take that pink all the way to that little piece, and then I'll finish this little edge with the blue, and I'll put a little bit of glue there. Just like that. And I kind of pull tight just to make sure that they get really stuck on the sides there. And now we're on the back. So the back's a little harder because you're coming from the outside in. So you're going to have to kind of control your swirl a little better. So I'm just going to put some glue here until I get to right where the pink is loose. And now they're back together again. So now I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm zigzagging big strips of glue here. Then I'm going to take the two pieces at the same time, and I'm just kind of using my hand and kind of pulling them back so that they stay on the outside. Oops, got some glue on my finger. So that they don't try to collapse, that they're going to stay around the outside. And we'll do the same thing. I need a new glue stick. Do the same thing here, just zigzag. And again, I'm just kind of pushing down and pulling back. And now I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this entire last part of the styrofoam with a good amount of glue. And we're going to twist it, and now this blue piece I'm going to cut short here, and I'm going to kind of tuck it down so the end gets down on that glue, so that way it doesn't kind of keep fraying. And then I'll kind of measure how much I need, and then I'm going to tuck this end piece down as well. Just going to put it straight down, and then I'm going to kind of turn it just like that. And then I'll go through and I'll kind of pick up the edges to see if there's any pieces that didn't get glued on all the way. So like this one here. So I'll kind of go through and I'll just add a little bit of glue there and then just push it down. Just to make sure you don't want any places where it's kind of lifting off. So it looks good. All right, so now you can be done here if you want to. You could put your little shish kebab skewer in there and finish your lollipop if you don't want to do any extras with it. But I like to have a little extra. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some bling rope. This is called bling rope. And I do sell this, but I only sell it to my private group at the moment. But you can get it, a lot of places online have it. I know if you're going to be using it for the amounts that you're using it, Glitz and Glue, she sells hers in 5-yard rolls. So that's going to be one of your better options there. And she always has a lot of sales going on. So make sure you check out her Etsy page and her Facebook page. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take the two here, and I'm going to just separate it. And I'm just going to put some glue right in the middle there. Just a big, glob of glue. And then I'm just going to take my bling rope and I'm just going to go straight down. And then I'm going to kind of take the yarn and kind of push it around that bling rope just so it holds it there. And usually bling rope plays really well with hot glue. So once it hits it, it's going to be kind of stuck there. You're not going to have a lot of issues with it. So it's pretty easy. And because it's like a plastic, it'll kind of work with you a little better. So now I'm just going to take my glue, and I just say I'm going in the ditch. So I'm kind of going in the ditch of the two yarns here, and I'm just putting a line of glue. just right on the surface. And then I'm just going to take my bling rope and I'm just going to kind of let it naturally fall right on top of that glue. And you can use any color you want. That's what's so fun about it. I'm sticking with like a pink color because like I said, for Valentine's. This would also be perfect for like a baby shower too. All right. So sometimes it, like I kind of want it to be really perfectly like a circle. So you just kind of have to manipulate the bling rope a little bit. It's not hard because, like I said, it's plastic in there, so it kind of works with you. So we're just going to continue all around that ditch of the yarn, just adding glue. Okay, now I'm just going to go along the edges here. They're a little easier because you're just kind of taking your rope and just letting it kind of lay there. Oops. Then I'm just going to come around the other side here. And we're just going to continue to do the same thing. And you're always going to kind of have a side because of how you're able to start your lollipop. I find one side has like a little, like more rows of your swirl. Because again, like you're coming inside and then going out. So you're able to work that swirl and make it a little tighter. So when you turn it around and you're coming from the outside in, it's not going to be as much of a swirl, but it's not enough to like worry about it. All right, so we're almost done with the bling rope here. All right, so I'm going to cut it. See, I'm going to want it to kind of turn in there. So I'm going to cut it now. It's going to want to turn on me. So I'm just going to add my glue around. And then I'm going to go right in the middle there, put a glob of glue. I'm going to move these two apart. And I'm going to just use my nail and kind of shove the end of the bling rope down there. Now, if you don't have a long nail, just use like a little like shish kebab skewer or like the end of your scissors, something just to kind of push that last piece down there. And I'm just going to kind of make sure I got it. So I want that blue to still be shown there too. So this is with the bling rope. So again, you can just stop here. You're like, oh, that's good enough because this is how I was making them. And then I still needed to add more. So to add more, you can actually use, so this is like some cording that I do sell in my Etsy shop, RK Ribbon Designs. And this is a light pink and it's light pink and white. And I have a red and white and then a black and white. I will be working on getting some more colors. But you can use that and you can add that around, which is one of my favorite things to do as well. So I would just go around and you do the exact same thing as you do with the cord or with the bling rope. You just put your glue around the ditch and you can just do that one. So I'm just trying to give you like a little look of how it would look like. So that's like with the cording. Then your other option I mean, there's many options because you could also do mesh tubing, which I've done before too. But I really like this option as well. And it's your, like, just like your kind of Mardi Gras beads that you can get like at Walmart or Hobby Lobby in their little party sections. So this one was from Hobby Lobby. It came in a pack, a bunch of them. And I like the look of this one, I think, the most. So we're going to just put these beads in here. So again, we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. I'm going to put that first bead down, kind of tuck it down in there. And then we're just going to go around. Now you're probably going to need like at least 2 necklaces to go around because they're not very long. So you'll need to make sure you have enough. So we're just going to continue right in that separation of the 2 colors of yarn there. And you don't want a lot, like you don't want to put a big chunk of glue, especially with the beads, because they're not all touching each other. So you don't want that glue to kind of come through on those little sections of the beads where they're separated. So you'll just kind of go around. Now, if this is something you're going to be using like in a wreath or something, and you know nobody's going to see the back of this, I wouldn't have even done the back part of it. So I would have just did the top and the sides, and then on the back of it, I would have just did like a felt sheet. That way you're not wasting any yarn, you're not wasting any of your trim if you're just going to add it into your wreath, because nobody's going to see the back of it. But I don't know when I'm selling them what they're using them for, because like for me, I put these in my trees. So I'll have like a Valentine's tree and Christmas trees, a spring tree. So because of that, I want it to be completely covered on the front and the back. So if you know you're going to be using these just for your attachments in your like wreaths or something, don't bother doing the back. I would just like, see right here, I would just finish. I wouldn't have done any of this on the back side. It would have just been a plain white felt sheet or whatever color felt sheet you have. Or you don't even have to put a felt sheet on the back there if you don't want to. Just leave it. But you could just be like, this is it. But again, I don't know. So like I said, you're probably going to need 2. So that was one whole one there. Let me see. So I'm going to cut this here where it's kind of attached to each other. And then I'm just going to kind of mimic that separation that it has here. So I'm not going to put it right next to that other one. I'm just going to kind of pretend that it's on that same little string, and then just kind of set it in there. So you won't even be able to know that you had to connect the 2. So we're just going to continue now. And we're just following that ditch. And I'm not even pressing hard. I just want it to just lay right on the top of my yarn there. So I'm just kind of letting it get the glue on it, and then it'll just kind of stay put there. So again, I'm going to come all the way around. I'm going to go in a little longer right in that middle part with the glue. And then I'll cut right in between those 2. I'll take that little piece there. Let's see. Kind of lay it on there. There we go. And then you have your lollipop here, or just your little candy disc, whatever you want to do with it. But I'm going to make it a lollipop. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a shish kebab skewer, And these you can get on Amazon. You can get them at Dollar Tree. I've seen them at like Hobby Lobby probably too. And Home Depot and Lowe's, like in their barbecue section. But they're just shish kebab skewers. You get a bunch of them for pretty cheap. So I like them best for the lollipops because I'll just find my way. I like to, like, if the swirl's kind of going like that direction, I like to have my stem kind of right in that same direction. So I'll just push it down. And I always turn it to make sure that it's straight so it's not like crooked. It's a little crooked. So I'll kind of have to pull it out again and then kind of straighten it out. There, that's better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a straw around it. Now you could wrap it with yarn, like some skinnier yarn if you wanted to. Wrap it with ribbon. You could paint it. You could do whatever. But this to me is the fastest and easiest way. But you also have a shorter handle because the straws are shorter. So I'm just going to put the straw on. Put that one a little sideways again. Okay. I'm going to put the straw on and I'm just going to lift it up and I'm going to put some glue right, around the bottom there. And then I'm just going to take my straw and I'm just going to twist it just because I want all the glue to get on there. And now you're going to have this little piece of wood that's going to be too long for the straw. And I'm just going to take my little wire cutters. I'm just going to cut it off there. And then I'm just going to put some glue right at the top. Because when I put the glue at the top there, what it's going to do is it's going to help seal that wood so that nobody gets a splinter. And it's also going to prevent the shish kebab inside from kind of shaking because the straw is bigger than the dowel. So it's not going to shake around. So it's going to kind of secure it there. And then you have your stem. And now you could be done again, or you can add a bow. And I always decide which side do I like better. Do I like this side better or do I like this side better? I think I like this side better. So we're just going to add a little bow here. So you just get any little ribbon that you want. Let's see if I like this ribbon or not. Yeah, this will work. So I'm just going to fold it here, cut it. I typically don't like to do a big bow because, again, most of the people that are going to be using it, if they're going to be putting in a tree or a wreath or something, I figured they don't really care too much about the bow. It's not going to be seen that much. And if they do want it to have like a bigger bow, they'll go on and put their own bow on there. So now I'm just going to tie it on. Try to even it out as much as I can. This is a little harder to work with ribbon. Okay. And what I'll typically do is I'll just add a little dab of glue just so it doesn't keep falling down. But not enough where it's not going to be hard if somebody wants to take this bow off and change it. And I'm just going to cut my tails here at a little bit of an angle. And there is your lollipop, and you are all done. So I hope you enjoyed this little lollipop tutorial. And I'm going to try to get better about adding more onto this YouTube channel for you guys. And remember, I'm RK Ribbon Designs. My name is Rachel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. And also, if you follow me on Facebook, I'm mostly on there. I have an Instagram page as well. TikTok I'm still working at. But you'll mostly see a lot of my content on Facebook. So I hope you enjoy. Goodbye.